I don't know about you guys, but I remember a time when September was autumn. Oh my goodness. 24 degrees today. Yesterday was the hottest day of the year so far. And they're still saying so far in September. This is not right, man. Hello and welcome back to the vlog. It's been an interesting time. Jen and I recently went out to Rails of Sheffield for their open day where we did another 6 to 7 hour live stream. It seems to have become one of the things we do. And while we were there, we showed off Jen's amazing 4 seasons in 1 rotation layout. This is a model railway that Jen and our good friend Les Cliff built together for a television series, Hornby and Model World Season 2, and it went down really well, so we took it along because people kept asking to see it in person. They'd seen it on TV, they wanted to see it in the flesh, so to speak. So we took it along, and you would not believe the response we got. People loved it. But while we were there, we did pick up a few things. Now, Jen has talked about her stuff on one of her videos already, but I need to talk about what I picked up. And also a couple of donations, because they're really gladly received. Thank you so much. We're very grateful. But you really don't have to. Like, seriously, you really don't have to. But let's have a look at what I picked up. First of all, I picked up a couple of these Pico N-Gauge kits. These make little wagons that your locomotives can run with. This one's a 15-foot wheelbase grain wagon, which is cool, and a 15-foot wheelbase tank wagon. Now, these will be fairly simple to put together, but they're really good fun and very, very useful. The other thing I picked up is 4 of these. These are very, very short Pico set track points, and it allows you to build very interesting railways. So I'm going to stick 2 of these together. They're very simple to use, and you just sort of slide them together like that, and then they'll connect, and you build up your railway. I've got 4 of those because I'm building a box file layout. I've got a box here. This isn't the one. I'm not entirely sure what this is from. I don't know where... I don't actually know where this came from. Oh, it's a tablet. It's an Android tablet box. But it's a fairly good size for showing off what I'm talking about. We can build up a nice little shunting layout, and that's going to be the main thing for this. So that is something very special. But the other one is one that Jen immediately decided she wanted as a background thing on Weir Yard, which is a proper, really, really nicely detailed windmill. It's N-gauge, but if you put it really far in the background of a double O-gauge model railway, it will look like it's far away in the distance. So it kind of becomes a pulled forced perspective scale thing, which is nice. So that was what we picked up. But the donations from Zantec, who is a big fan of the Monday Club and Jenny Kirk's channel, were really, really gratefully received. Because Spartanbrau to Munchen, or Munchen, I think it's Munchen, it's a beer wagon in N-gauge, and Hannen Alt, which is another beer wagon. Very cool. So I've got a German locomotive, and last time we were there at the Rails Day, I picked up a German beer wagon. Well, now I've got 3. So we've actually got a beer train, which is very cool. So that was cool. But the other thing, and this will tie into the other stuff I want to talk to you about, was a donation from Peter Jackson at Cheadle Heath, which is a complete PlayStation 1. So we've got the main PlayStation 1 here, which is surprisingly heavy for something that's this small. And it came with Tomb Raider Chronicles in it, which is cool. And very, very nicely appreciated. Plus the controller and the power supply and the RF cable, which I'll swap out for a composite cable when I plug it all into the system. And then that was really nice. Like, thank you so much. I love this stuff, but again, it is gratefully received, and we really do love this stuff, but you don't have to. And that's what I try to keep putting across to people. You don't have to. We do appreciate it, but you don't have to. But thank you. Thank you so much. But that's not all I've been working on, because I have been picking up some stuff for myself. I finally went down to town and got Kesslin 3 cleaned up. It was scratched to bits and wouldn't load, so I'm happy to say got that working now. Put that to one side. I also picked up, while I was down there, because I had to. While I was down there, I really had to. Got a copy of Mega Games 1. Now this... no, this didn't actually come from CX while I was down there getting it cleaned. I'll talk to you about what I got while I was down there waiting for the disc to clean. But this one I got off eBay, Mega Games 1, and no manual, but it does mean that I've now got all 3 of the Mega Games set. So, 1, 2, 3. Hey! And naturally, Mega Games 1, being the first one, doesn't actually have the same side as the others, which is just wonderful. It's nice to know that Sega, in their wisdom, went and made everything look great on a shelf. It kind of works, but at least I've got them on the shelf. That's what counts. But it's not all, because, like I said, I did pick some stuff up while I was down in town, waiting for that to get cleaned up, the disc. So, finally got myself a copy of Sonic & Knuckles. It makes that noise every time you open it. What am I doing with my life? But yeah, I didn't have a copy of Sonic & Knuckles. I've been playing the one that's on the Sonic Mega Collections for PlayStation 2 and Xbox. And yeah, it's not quite the same experience when it's not quite right. The controls don't feel quite right, and the sound is off, like seriously off. So getting a copy of that, I'll eventually find a copy of Sonic 3. Well, I'll say eventually find a copy. I'll eventually find a copy that's in a decent condition that will look nice on the shelf when I'm not playing it. Am I a shelf collector? You don't get to have a huge amount of games without being a shelf collector. You cannot play them all the time the same way you could with a small collection. So yeah, anyone who's got a large selection of games who claims they're not a shelf collector, they're kidding themselves. That's the only thing. But it's not the only game, because I did pick up, it's actually in my Nintendo as I speak, RoboCop. I've heard good and bad things about this. I enjoyed it. It's a pretty good game. I've been playing a fair bit of it, which is why it was in the Nintendo, so I'm very happy to add it to the set. But that's not the only thing we've picked up. I do like to go all in, don't I? Also, finally got myself a copy of the soundtrack to Final Fantasy VII. This is a Japanese import. It's got Japanese on the side. It's got the little booklet that goes with it, which is really nice. And the actual CD case is in really good condition. So I'm really happy to add this to my set, because it's lovely. The soundtrack of Final Fantasy VII is actually spectacular. I do love it when a role-playing game goes all in on the sound. So yeah, very happy to add that to the collection. But even that's not all, because what was the other thing I got? Where is it? Where is it? Of course it's not in there. It's here in front of me. Talking of completing sets. From a certain point of view, the 40th anniversary set of 40 short stories based on Return of the Jedi. So now I've got the full set of that, so I'm really happy with this. And I'm going to be enjoying that over the next few months. It's something that you dip in and out of and you enjoy the stories. But even that is not the finish. Because you might have seen this in the background. This is Python Crash Course. It's basically how to learn how to program Python. And it's set out like a standard textbook for programming. I'm going to be enjoying this because I have a project coming up. Now, I have talked about this on one of the live streams, but I want to talk to you about it here because this is something that's going to be going on for quite some time. Let's put it this way. This is not a short thing. I'm going to create an open source system that will allow you to essentially emulate retro television. You need to provide your own videos. I will not be violating any copyrights, but the idea of this is that the program I'm going to write, which is going to be using Python because I've done some research on this, and Python works really well for handling multimedia. It's going to be running in the background. You set up how many channels you want and what the parameters of those channels are, whether the channel has adverts, how often they have adverts, how to set up a schedule, does it respect the watershed, which is the point at which adult content can be shown, well, say adult mature content can be shown and all of that, this, that and the other, all the things that would set up the characteristics of that channel, like the type of advert, the type of idents it runs, things like that. All of that is going to be run by this thing. So I'm going to be coding that, and it's going to be a hobby thing. It's going to be on and off. Do not expect it anytime soon. But the idea is that it will generate some channels of retro television and give you the retro television experience, because modern television sucks. I think we can all agree that modern TV is not good. It puts adverts in the wrong place. It doesn't have any character anymore. The personality of television from back in the day is completely different to what it is now, which is basically, we know TV's dying, but some of you are still watching, so we're going to continue and wring out as much money of this dying format as we can before everyone goes to streaming. I want to replicate like the Silver Age. Not Golden Age, Silver Age, it might be, it's arguable which age it would be. Something from the 80s, 90s, perhaps even the 70s. That kind of style is what I'm going for, but with the software I'm trying to build, you'll be able to do whatever you want with it. This is not the first thing that's ever been done of this style. I know Beamish has its own replica TV system that broadcasts television that you'd find in the 50s in its 1950s area. I know that there are several things for making your own TV station already online. None of them quite fit what I want to do, except for one that I saw a video on, and the guy didn't make it available to anyone else, but it looked good, and that's why I want to do this, because I know it can be done. I have literally seen it, but the guy's not sharing the software, so I'm going to make an open source one where you can have the software too. But it's going to take a while, because I've got to learn Python first. Why am I using Python? Because the guy that I saw that thing on used it for his, what he called the controller software. And mine is going to be Director General. The Director General, named after the controller of the BBC, is going to direct how the programs are put together into a schedule. It will run the videos that it's got based on the time you tune in and all of that. So if you tune in at 9:10, you're going to miss the first 10 minutes of a show that started at 9, that kind of thing. It's all going to be done that way. Director General will do that. That's the idea. It's going to take a while, but I think it's going to be worth it. Okay, that's all I've got for you today. I'm off now to start learning how to do Hello World and all of that in Python. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. If you like the show, please consider supporting me on Patreon. It really does help create future videos. That's patreon.com/Zoe Kirk-Robinson. And I've got an extra special thanks going out to Chief89, Sam Yates, Retro Mickey82, Mo Henry, and George Botterini. Thank you so much, guys.